I wanted to do a segment where I talk about photo books I've been enjoying, and this one recently I got my hands on. I've only flicked through it once or twice, so I thought it'd be nice to sit down and give you some of my impressions of the book and talk a little bit about it as well. Bit of backstory, I guess. It's called A1, The Great Northern Road by Paul Graham. As the title suggests, it's all set along one road, the A1, that goes from London all the way to Edinburgh in the UK. I won't talk too much about it at the moment, but yeah, let's open it up and start going through it. Talks a bit about his approach here as well. Says that by concentrating on a particular road, he has deliberately limited his scope, and by using large format cameras, he has created a composed world in which time is suspended and the life of the road preserved. And the fact that he used large format cameras is really cool. Obviously, you're going to see this amazing detail, this compression in the portraits and other cool things. I really like the characteristics of large format cameras, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, let's get stuck into the photos. So I don't know if you've heard me talk about before, but the first few photos are based in North London, which is where I'm actually from. So I kind of relate to these quite a lot. Mill Hill is somewhere I've been before, obviously, and this book is based in the 80s, so I really enjoy seeing it photographed in that time. Obviously I wasn't around then, so it's quite cool to see it as like a bit of a time capsule of that time. But yeah, the way she's standing is very kind of nonchalantly leaning, like he's just kind of walked past and she's not even, obviously this is a set up photograph because he's using large format, but at the same time it kind of looks like a street photograph, which is cool. Looking back at the city, this is in Highbury. One of the only photos in the book that actually shows the road, which is quite cool. Yeah, from the description of the title, you might think, oh, it's going to be a lot of scenery along the road and the road itself, but it actually uses it as a location rather than the subject, which I quite like. So yeah, it's quite creative in that way. And right, so another portrait here. This is beautiful. Absolutely love this photo. You've got some really nice light kind of, and he's facing towards the window there as well, so it's kind of lighting really beautifully. The blue kind of boiler suit as well is really cool. It stands out. I think if he was wearing like a grey or a muted colour, he wouldn't stand out as much. So yeah, but yeah, South Mims, Hertfordshire. I actually grew up in Hertfordshire, north of London, so that's kind of cool. And South Mims, there was a service station there that we used to go to when I was like a young teenager to go get McDonald's. It's kind of funny to me. Cool. A really kind of eerie shot. I like how he hasn't chosen to shoot on sunny days. Obviously in the UK there's not very many of those, so, but it's more fitting and more suited when you've got weather like this, because yeah, you know, it's a realistic depiction of what it would have been like. But yeah, quite like this shot. This is possibly one of my favorites. I'm definitely drawn to the color blue, my favorite color for sure. But yeah, the red details add that nice contrast, and I like just the, obviously being large format, you've got so much detail in such a large shot. Old TV in the background and the arcade machines, you know, newspaper. Throughout this book, you kind of learn that the lorry drivers at that time used to wear these, like, I don't know if they're called boiler suits, but I'm going to call them that. These blue outfits, which, yeah, are quite bright and quite distinctive. So it adds some nice kind of color to photos. You can tell as well by these photos that he's really gotten to know the people and they seem relaxed around him, which is a hard thing to do. You know, I've never really shot that much in terms of like portraiture like that, especially documentary style. So, you know, meeting people and having conversations with them and then taking photos that way is probably going to achieve better results. Now, if this doesn't depict UK in the 80s, I'm not sure what does. The haircuts, the glasses, turtlenecks, yeah, even the house in the background there. It's really, really beautiful image. Yeah, beautifully framed. I like how he's got in some of his portraits, he's got a lot of negative, or not, I wouldn't call it negative space, but just space. Yeah, I think when you're on a road trip as well, you pass these spots that don't have as many people around, and this to me feels like a road trip photo in a sense, where you're visiting somewhere where, you know, you might have got there super early because you're driving in the morning, or arrive somewhere quite desolate, or yeah, so gives me that depiction, and the ashtray there is a nice touch. This image is really interesting. I like his expression, where he's just kind of looking off into the distance and hanging on there. Some really nice textures, the ropes and the texture in the background. That's obviously his lorry. It says driver lay by. Really enjoy this image. This is a really interesting photo. Not something I thought I was going to find in this book. I like that, how it kind of keeps you on your toes like that. But yeah, the hotel sign and the fire burning fields in the background is, yeah, there's so many dimensions to this photo, which are really cool. And that soft kind of light. Yeah, it's a beautiful photo. But yeah, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about why I chose this book. Recently, I've been missing the UK quite a lot. I haven't been back home in like 5 years. So yeah, I'm feeling quite nostalgic, yeah, and missing certain parts of the UK. And I guess shooting in Australia, you get used to certain terrains and certain areas, and maybe at the moment I'm not so inspired by that because I've been shooting it so much. So these feel like such a contrast to what I've been shooting. So for me, I find them more interesting. And especially this book being set in places where I've actually lived and grew up as well. Yeah, obviously at a different time, like I said, but yeah, really interesting. Or see, this is quite a nice, simple shot. I think it's cool to have these, not every shot be like so distinctive and so detailed and so much going on. This is like a nice, allows for nice pacing in the book, and yeah, something I'm enjoying. But yeah, that brings us to the end of the book. Here it gives you a bit of a map of the journey and all the spots in between. A bit of a history about the road, and then here is really interesting where he talks about how his family used to take trips up north and travel from his home in Harlow to places.
So I think I'm finally selling my Mamiya RZ67. I've been wanting to for a little while now, and finally think I'm going to pull the trigger and do it. I just put it up on Facebook Marketplace and see how that goes, and maybe put it up on eBay too. But yeah, kind of the reasons behind it, I haven't really been drawn to taking it out at the moment. It's just so heavy and cumbersome. It just kind of gets in the way, and I'm not really enjoying the workflow with it. Yeah, so the camera I'm looking at getting at the moment is the Mamiya 7. Obviously that will be a bit of an upgrade, and it's a much lighter system, so that'll be pretty good as well. But yeah, I'm kind of excited in a way. Obviously I've shot a lot with the RZ and had a lot of good trips, road trips, days out and that kind of thing with it. But I think it's time now to kind of switch it up and move to a different camera. The kind of funny thing about it as well, the RZ67 I do have is the Pro 2D, which allows you to put a digital back on it. And you're probably wondering why I got that camera initially in the first place. There was one on Gumtree going locally, and it was going for a really good deal for the same price as like a Pro 2. So I thought might as well just get it anyway at the time. But yeah, I never got a digital back for it, never really wanted to anyway. It's kind of sad in a little bit of a way, because I've taken it on so many kind of little trips, road trips and days out and stuff like that, and shot some of my most favorite work on it. I think it's time now to move on to the next camera. But yeah, if you're looking for an RZ at the moment, hit me up. Yeah, send me a message or something and see if we can work out. I can send you some more details and see if we can work something out.